from Once a Month Meals. I'm so glad that y'all are joining me today. You guys, today we're talking about all things breakfast. Who out here loves breakfast? Me, it really is my favorite meal of the day. At least breakfast food. I'm not always like big breakfast first thing in the morning kind of person, but I love breakfast food, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So, hey, if you're just joining us now, go ahead and introduce yourself in the comments, please. Tell us your name and where you're joining us from. If this is your first time, make sure and indicate that too. We want to give you a special welcome. Now, if you're watching this on a replay, and you'll know because you won't see that little red live tab up in the corner, just go ahead and put hashtag replay in the comments. That helps us know who's watching later, and we will circle back around and answer questions. Also, if you're not going to be able to stay with us today, I'm going to be super quick, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. You can go ahead and share this to your page, and you can finish watching it later. We know you might be on lunch break. So it looks like we already have some people joining us. Shasta, maybe? Miss Malchasta. Hello from Utah. Hi, I'm so glad that you're joining us today. Oh, sorry, I forgot her name. Teresa is her name. Well, I'm so glad that you're joining us today, Teresa, because we're talking about breakfast. Do you love breakfast? The reason that we're doing this is because we get a lot of comments all the time that people love breakfast, but that they end up going to like dry cereal all the time because they just haven't thought enough to plan ahead, and it's crazy in the morning, right? It's always crazy at my house in the morning. We have 4 kids. Everybody's like trying to get ready, backpacks. It's all craziness. So a lot of times if you don't plan ahead, you do end up going to like cold cereal or a piece of toast or something because it's what's quick, right? So we're here to help give you some ideas about things that can be fast, but that can still be super tasty, just like you had spent a while in the kitchen. So the first thing that I'm gonna make for you guys, oh, and also I wanted to let you know, if you are maybe just new here and you're like, what is freezer cooking? Like, what is this whole thing about? I want to encourage you to go over to our site, onceamonthmeals.com/try-it-now. Right there, you can get a free menu of your choice. It's lots of different dietary choices. So you can begin to give freezer cooking a try and see what it's all about, because we know that it will change your life, you guys, for real. Okay, so the first recipe that I'm going to demonstrate for you this morning is the Eggo breakfast sandwich. Now, these are just 2 Eggo waffles, easy to get in your freezer aisle. If you want to make your own homemade waffles, you definitely could do that. But for this morning, for the sake of convenience, I'm just going to use these. And then all I'm going to do is layer on, this is a slice of cheddar cheese, and then a couple of slices of ham. Now, you guys can feel free to mix this up. Once you have the base recipe, I always say you can customize, right? So maybe ham is not your thing. Maybe you would prefer bacon or sausage or something like that. Feel free to mix it up however you like. And if you wanted to even do a sweet one, I was thinking a good one would be like cream cheese and jelly, or Nutella and banana, something like that. So really get creative in how you can make these. And then all I'm gonna do is put this on top, and then I'm just gonna freeze it. Now you can use ours directions, which you get at Once a Month Meals. The directions indicate that I should wrap in plastic wrap. I have, oops, it's catching here a little bit. Some press and seal. Well, maybe I don't have press and seal. It's like really catching. I'm gonna grab my scissors really quick. But yeah, so you're just gonna wrap this up, and then I'm gonna put it in a freezer bag. And then on the morning that I want my sandwich, I will have all of these assembled already. So it takes all the time out of that for me. And then I can just either put them all in the oven. So if I have 4 children, so I could put 4 onto a plate or onto a cooking sheet, and then just broil for about 10 minutes. Also, if you have like a panini maker or a sandwich maker, these would go great in there as well. And they can go straight from frozen. There's no need to thaw if you don't want to. So you guys, that's how easy that was. So you could see that very easily I could get 10, 12 of these done within probably like 5 minutes of doing this. So again, I'm just gonna take them all. Again, put all the things on them that I want. You can vary them depending on, maybe some kids would like ham and cheese, maybe others wouldn't. So you can really mix those up. How does that sound for you guys? Oh, and also, because these are kind of big, I think, like my older girls probably would take down a whole one of these, but I don't think my younger ones would. So if you want to cut them and just rack them in halves, and then I would just probably stick them all into my freezer bag then here. to go. And then I can just pull out what I want when I want it, just one at a time. Super easy peasy. Who else is joining us today? And what is your favorite breakfast food? I want to hear about that too. Like I said, breakfast food is one of my favorite things. So I love chatting new breakfast ideas. Okay, the next recipe I'm doing, so I'm only doing 2 recipes today just to demonstrate. We have some great blog posts that we will link in the comments for you guys that have tons of great recipes on them. And on our site, I mean, you guys know if you've been around for a while, all of our members have access to like 8,000 recipes. I mean, there's a ton of recipes, or even more maybe. I'm not sure right at this moment how many we have, but we have so many freezer recipes, you guys, so much variety. So I know that that's something that people get tripped up on a lot when they're freezer cooking, is they get in that rut of doing the same recipes and they're like, I don't have any new ideas. Not with once a month meals. We will not let that happen to you. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is make my gluten-free, dairy-free pumpkin overnight oats, right? Everybody loves pumpkin. This is the season for it. And so we're making overnight oats. But I wanted to demonstrate, really quickly too, because this makes a big batch, right? This are my recipe here, which again, from onceamonthmeals.com, that blog post, makes a big batch. But let's say I just want to do a single serving, which I actually do often. So what I would do is these little jars, these little freezer canning jars are great, especially the wide mouth ones is what I buy. And then I usually just do a half of a cup of oats. So I'm using all the same ingredients that are in this recipe, but I'm just showing you how it looks when I pare it down. Now, a trick that I learned early on when starting overnight oats is that, now this is dairy-free milk, this is almond-free, but if you do not have a gluten or dairy allergy, you definitely could use regular, right? You could easily do, you could do dairy milk and that's not gonna be a problem. So I'm gonna do like a half of a cup, or I'm sorry, a cup of liquid here. You always wanna do, when you're doing these in these little tiny jars, I find that what works best for me, because I like a really creamy overnight oat. Anybody else with me on that one? So you wanna use double the amount of oat or milk or dairy product, whatever you're using, to your oats. So I'm gonna mix that in together. And then after I have that base, this is when I want to start adding all of my flavor ingredients. So for this one, it's pumpkin. Again, I'll just put a little dab of pumpkin in there for this one because I'm not doing the big batch yet. And then a little bit of pumpkin pie spice. Again, do whatever you want. I have made these a billion times, so I kind of know by looking at it what I'm gonna need. The only things I still really measure out are so there I put some vanilla in it, pumpkin pie spice. And next I have my maple syrup and the chia seeds that I'm gonna use. Now, I don't know if you've heard of chia seeds before. They are super yummy. I'm gonna put a tablespoon, actually I'm gonna put a tablespoon of my chia seeds before I put in the maple syrup. Chia is really good. The chia seeds are really good because they are gonna make this overnight oatmeal so super creamy. It kind of is like a tapioca. If you've had like tapioca pudding before, it kind of makes it look like this. Now I'm just gonna stir this all together. Now you can really customize this however you want. A couple of other combinations that I have done and really liked are apple and raisin, apple cinnamon raisin I love. I just chop up about a half of an apple, put it in there, a couple of raisins and some cinnamon, super good. And then I've also done almond, like an almond joy, so it would be like the unsweetened cocoa powder. I always use maple syrup or honey as my sweetener. I don't like them overly sweet, so you could add more or less depending on how you like it. And then, so I add the unsweetened cocoa and then a little bit of the coconut seasoning, or you guys, I'm losing all my words today, the coconut flakes in there. And you can also use coconut milk, which is really good. And it tastes like an almond joy. If you are an almond joy fan, you are really gonna love it. So then I would just put this lid on. Now this is if you don't wanna freeze it again. This is just making it for maybe tomorrow or something. You would stick this in the refrigerator and by the morning, All you do is take off the lid and enjoy, because it's going to be so delicious. You guys are going to love that. Okay, now I'm going to show you what it looks like to make a big batch to freeze, because again, we're talking about, hey, if you're running low on time and you need a little extra help in the kitchen in the morning. So all I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to put in my rolled oats. So I'm going to put in a couple of cups of that. And again, it's the same ingredients that I just did before, but this gives it to me. Once a Month Meals does all of your math for you, so that you don't really have to think about like, hey, now I wanted to do, I just put in my servings and it did all the work for me in terms of how many I needed. So, and then it tells me that I'm going to need 3 cups of this milk, a half a cup of pumpkin, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of flaxseed. Again, if flaxseed is not your thing, you could substitute chia. That's what I typically do. And then 2 teaspoons of the pumpkin pie spice and 4 tablespoons of the maple syrup. And again, you can customize that however you like in terms of sweetness. So again, I'm just going to get this all going here. Any questions before we're done? Because we are almost done, you guys. We're almost finished up here. Do you have any questions or comments? I'd love to see your comments too. So I'm just going to do half of a cup of these, the pumpkin puree. And we talked about this last week. We did a watch party on how to make your own pumpkin puree. If that's something that you want to do, it's super easy. A couple of teaspoons of vanilla extract here. Anybody else buy these giant vanilla extract? I always go to like Sam's Club or Costco and get these, especially right before the holidays, because I know I'm going to be using a ton for baking and stuff. Okay. Oh, and then my pumpkin pie spice, of course. Okay. My maple syrup. This is going by so fast, you guys. See how easy this is? You guys can so easily do this at home on a Saturday or a Sunday. Your kids can totally help you with this. My little ones love doing stuff like this, where it's just kind of dump in. And then I would do my flaxseed, 2 tablespoons of that it calls for. I'm actually going to do chia instead. I just prefer the consistency of the chia. All right, and now you guys, all I'm going to do is mix this up really good. Don't forget, if you're joining us, we want to hear from you. Go ahead and introduce yourself in the comments. All right, you guys, it smells amazing. This would be a great breakfast too for like around Thanksgiving time. You know, we're always so busy at the holidays and stuff with breakfast. And then all I'm going to do is take these little, my directions indicate that I should have, this should make 8, oops, the wrong bag was there, freezer quart bags. So all I'm going to do is divide this up, you guys, and it will be ready to go. And then I'm going to freeze them. And then in the morning when I'm ready to have them, I'm just going to take them out, put them into the microwave and eat them. I can eat them warm. If you want the cold oats like you would overnight, you know, when you put them in your refrigerator, you could just thaw these out overnight and they'll be good to go. So you guys, that's it. See how easy that is? Just put these, you could freeze them single, or you could put them all into a larger bag so that you can just pull them out. Easy peasy. You guys, I'm so glad that you are joining us today. Don't forget, we are here each Wednesday at noon. You can head over to onceamonthmeals.com/tryitnow for lots of great recipes. Again, check out that blog post that we posted in the comments for lots of breakfast recipes, and leave us comments about your favorite breakfast recipes, your favorite breakfast foods to eat, because we would love to hear that. Hope to see you guys next week with us. Talk to you soon.